So the equipping issue with the Guard is very, very important. I met with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Admiral Mullen, yesterday, myself and 7 tanks from seven states, to talk about that same issue, making sure that the Guard and reserves are equipped at the same level or close to the same level as active duty, because we are called to fight the same fights like the active duty. Not only that, we are also called to respond to the homeland. We are called to respond to the earthquakes, the fires, the inaugurations. And that's a good news story. The inauguration. The largest assembly individuals in the nation for any event, and not one arrest. The only issue that they had was folks that were stuck in the 3rd Street tunnel under the Capitol. That was the only issue, and we were doing good. 7,000 guardsmen came in to augment the local authorities in that event. That was great. So, when it comes to equipping the reserves, and if you go back to history, and one of the reasons why you're here, General Marshall always had that vision that he would like to see the reserve forces ready to augment the active duty at the same level. He did that throughout his career when he taught in Illinois. He was always focused on making sure of the readiness of the troops. Readiness is not only an Army thing, however. It's also a part of the rest of the services, the Air Force, the Air Guard, which I have quite a few. I have within my inventory in the District of Columbia 22 F-16s, F-16 fighters, all based out of Andrews Air Force Base. First in the skies over the Washington, D.C. area after September 11th, and have been sitting alert since then 24/7. Over 2,000 scrambles since September 11 out of Andrews. And lots of times, most of the times, 99% of the times, it's just a straight aircraft, not knowing which way they were going. And you could see their eyes, the pilots would tell me, when that F-16 pulls up alongside of them, screaming. And then you should see their eyes once they touch the ground, and the FBI takes them away. So a lot of good news things that are happening within the Guard and Reserves. At this time, what I would like to do, and I heard you have some good questions for me, is to stop talking about me and the units in the National Guard and take your questions on leadership, on becoming an officer. I viewed it from both sides. I viewed it from the enlisted side in a platoon. I viewed it from an officer side, being a second lieutenant all the way to where I am now. One of the stories I was telling at my table a few minutes ago is the need to have a balance. The need to have a balance. The need to have a balance no matter where you are in your career. I was not balanced as a second lieutenant. And I told the story about, at that time I was married with 2 kids, one 5 and one 9 months old, living in Washington, D.C., just moved my convoy from Washington to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, when the message came in that my father-in-law had died in New York. I called home, of course, offered my condolence to my wife, I think. Yeah, I did. Looked at my schedule at Fort Bragg and said, you know, hon, I think I can fly to New York directly from Charlotte, and I'll be there on Tuesday. How about packing the kids up and getting on Amtrak and taking them to New York? And by the way, could you get me from LaGuardia Airport when you get there? And of course, yes, hun, was the response. So I got to New York. I did the funeral thing. I said, you know, hon, I need to be back because the commanding general of the District of Columbia National Guard is coming to see. It wasn't even my unit. I was just a lieutenant in that unit. There was a commander, there was, but I thought I was the most powerful person there. I had all the knowledge. The commanding general is coming on Thursday at 1, and I think I need to be back there to meet him. You know, so, of course, yes, hun. At the end of the period of training, I went home, and she told me what she went through arriving at Union Station at 10 p.m. with a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. You can imagine what they were doing. The 3 bags that she had, one kid was sleeping on the bed, on the chair, the seat in the train. The other kid in her hand as she tried to move the bags off of Amtrak one at a time. The door was closing. She took a bag and put it between the door. So my stock was going down pretty fast. And when I got home, she let me have it. I'm still married, by the way. As commanding general, there are other stressors that come on your plate, things that you must do. And as I was telling them at the table also, I think she now has a master's degree in understanding because she has to be able to balance with me. So my advice to you is make sure that you focus on that balance as you take off in your officer career, as you move up the ladder, create that balance. Do not neglect your family duties. That's extremely important. I spend lots of time at the Yellow Ribbon programs as I deploy soldiers and airmen, talking to families and kids. And the toughest group I had to speak to 2 weeks ago was a group of kids that were between the ages of 6 and 12. Why are you here? I'm here to have fun. I'm here because I didn't want to go to school on Friday. Do you know that your parent is deploying? Yeah. But trying to get them focused also. So I can say to you, just make sure that you balance your lives as you move along your careers. I thank you. I want to say congratulations to all of you. I know that you are the top cadets from the universities, the institutions where you come from. That's my cue to stop. I planted that one. Thank you very much for doing that. Make sure that you balance your careers as you move along. I know that you've done a fantastic job to this point. You're the top graduates from your universities. Thank you very much.